something we started doing just before we broke up was making animations called GIFs from our still images. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. You have to, in Photoshop, so your File, Scripts, load files into Stack. So you have this dialog box which asks you to browse for the images. So here's my images on my desktop, Apple 1 to 12. So I've selected all of those images and I've pressed open. So it hasn't opened them yet, they're here. Now, because I've named them in order, I can see they're in the wrong order. So I'm just going to tell it to sort by name, and then it arranges them numerically, which is good. So that's okay. So it just needs a bit of time to stack all the images on top of each other, almost like a flick book. So we'll just let it do its do. So you can see here in the layers palette all my apples. Now you need your timeline window open, or in the Macs at school that's called animation. Now if you don't have it, you go to Window, Timeline. If you've got an older version of Photoshop, it will be animation. Now it says create frame animation. Sometimes when you open it, it says create video timeline. We're not doing that. Create frame animation, and then you click on that, and it has one frame. Now at the moment, it's got all the frames stacked up on one another. Now we want it to make, it's got all the layers stacked up on each other. We want it to make frames from layers. So in that tiny, tiny little menu button there, make frames from layers, and there you go. Okay, so for some reason, it always loads it backwards. Pretty gross actually, isn't it? So I'm going to pause it and click on my first frame, put my finger on shift and click my last frame. I am then going back to my little menu, and it should say reverse frames, so I can do that. Okay, so now it's in the right order. Now at the moment it's a bit fast, so I want to slow it down a bit, so I'm going to do 0.1 seconds, and because I highlighted them all, they all changed. So you can watch that in slow motion if you want. Okay, now I didn't edit mine, I didn't crop my images or anything, so you might do that so it's a bit neater and it might help line them up a bit more. But that's how you make a GIF in Photoshop.